Are you okay?
Yeah.
All right, can I have your name?
You gotta stand back. You can record us, but you gotta stand back.
We're pretty far from each other, bro.
Don't come any closer.
We're at least, look, within arm's reach. Look. We can't even touch each other if we spent... All right. You're the... All right, what's the problem? You're concerned that we come and speak to you? You guys are the police, bro. Like, you got full backup, all the gear in the world, pepper spray, German Shepherds. Do you have a German Shepherd? Heck yeah, they work for you, bro. You guys can see what our point is. You were so concerned about our camera, but another citizen pulled up and literally wanted a picture with you guys. And you guys said yes with no problem.
They don't have a camera pointed at my face, right?
That's exactly what he was doing. He pointed a camera at your face for the picture, didn't he? That doesn't make much sense, Flores, Gonzalez. You guys just contradicted yourselves instantly. Instantly. That was God. That was the work of God. Because you see, we're First Amendment auditors, respectful ones. We love and praise good officers. But you guys just see that. You guys had a problem with us because we put the videos on the internet and you guys automatically go, oh, my safety. Bro, you had 3 clips, a taser, a camera. Now, let's not forget that you also have a camera. There shouldn't be a problem when people come up to you, bro. You guys come up to people all day long.
When somebody points a camera in my face, it comes across with your attitude.
Oh, well, what?
You have an attitude.
I don't have an attitude. That's my tone of voice. That's how I speak.
That's fine.
I speak very secure of myself.
My partner here, you can call anybody you want. How's that?
Well, that's part of the First Amendment. I appreciate you saying that. But technically, you also have to remember that the First Amendment includes freedom of the press. So we could do our paparazzi work on you guys.
That's fine.
I just don't want to scare you.
Ma'am, do you guys know anything about the Third Amendment? Do you remember any of that? Can I have your name and badge number, please?
My badge number, do you need page number?
Please.
The encounter begins with a discussion about cameras, personal space, and the public's right to record police officers. The auditors challenge officers who appear uncomfortable being filmed and immediately point out what they see as a contradiction in the officer's position. Moments earlier, another citizen approached the officers and asked for a photograph, which the officers reportedly allowed without objection. The auditors use that moment to argue that being recorded cannot suddenly become a safety concern simply because the footage may later appear online. What stands out here is the auditors' effort to frame the conversation around consistency. They repeatedly emphasize that police officers regularly approach members of the public, initiate conversations, and operate in public spaces themselves. The officers appear concerned about being filmed and having footage posted online, while the auditors argue that public officials performing public duties should expect public scrutiny. The discussion remains largely verbal and focused on principles rather than specific enforcement actions. References are made to the First Amendment and freedom of the press, with the auditors describing themselves as respectful First Amendment auditors who support good police work while documenting government activity. By the end of this segment, the conversation has evolved into a debate about whether officers should treat cameras differently depending on who is holding them and how the footage might ultimately be used.
Please.
15661.
Thank you. Sandoval.
Eso no es que hermano, so todas las veces for pedestrian in Broadway, he's a tyrant.
Really? Oh, I heard about that story.
He is a tyrant. Hey, Jesse, right? Yeah. Please don't get too close to me.
This is a public road.
Yeah, but don't get
Oh, did you see that? Did you see what he just said? He could get close, but we can't. You guys can get close, but we can't. That's how it works. Bro, I'm not gonna do anything to you, bro. Why are you so concerned? So you took him to jail for putting a foot on the road. That's you.
Get off my streets. These are my streets. And then
I remember. Yeah, you're when you were in the roadway.
Tyrant. The judge said
Did it get dismissed?
It got, yeah.
Oh, it got dismissed. So you took somebody to jail, and then it got dismissed. So you were wrong.
No, that's actually.
We're not. Excuse me. We're at work. Don't.
Discretionary up to the judicial system.
No, it's either. He either broke the law or he didn't.
Well, you're incorrect.
If you break the law, you get punished. He didn't get punished. You were the punisher that day.
The judge clowns that court.
So if the case gets dismissed, you didn't commit a crime. That's completely incorrect.
Why would it get dismissed then? Because you guys are nice? Hell no. You weren't nice. You weren't nice when you took him to jail. Discretion.
They both laughed at you.
You said the judge laughed at you.
What judge? What judge?
Don't worry about it, but
Well, you can look this up. It's public records. I mean, you did
and check out the comments.
3 million?
Yeah.
Oh, you got 3 million hits? You're a YouTube star. I mean, how do you feel about the fact that you took somebody to jail and then the case didn't really go as you planned?
Plan.
Yeah, you do.
The focus quickly shifts toward a previous arrest involving one of the officers present. The auditors bring up an earlier incident in which an individual was reportedly taken to jail, only for the case to be dismissed later. This becomes the centerpiece of the discussion. The auditors repeatedly question why someone would be arrested if the case could not ultimately be sustained. The officers attempt to defend their actions, but the auditors continue pressing the issue and argue that an arrest can have long-lasting consequences regardless of what happens later in court. What makes this segment important is that the conversation moves away from filming and directly into police accountability. The auditors emphasize the reputational damage that can result from being arrested, even when charges are later dismissed. They point to court outcomes and public records as evidence supporting their criticism. The officers push back against the suggestion that dismissal automatically proves wrongdoing by law enforcement. Throughout this portion of the encounter, both sides remain focused on the prior case and what it says about police decision-making. The auditors repeatedly return to the idea that accountability should exist when arrests do not withstand judicial review. By the end of this section, the disagreement remains unresolved, but the earlier arrest has become the dominant topic of discussion.
Once you put handcuffs on somebody's hands, bro, you are damaging that person's image for life, whether the charge gets dismissed or not. You see, you guys have no clue the damage you could do to somebody. You just pick and choose and take people to jail like nothing.
That if you don't commit the crime.
Well, he never did. That's why it got dismissed. And that's why you got 3 million hits on the internet.
I wouldn't have a job right now.
Sir, you guys protect each other. What a coincidence that the police arrest everybody but themselves.
The thing about civil suits is that when an officer is found guilty of a crime and a question of the law, he gets fired.
You guys are never, that's because your department will never put itself in a position where you guys are going to end up getting sued.
It's actually not up to this.
Because it's the truth. Unless it's like a YouTube video.
How do you know what you just said to be true?
Because your behavior is highly suspicious. You see, you have a problem with cameras, but instantly you allow somebody to take a picture with you, which I think it's against your own policy, by the way. You can't just be taking pictures with people. You're not a celebrity. Okay, but I'm talking about what you did. You took a picture with somebody, you're supposed to say no to that. They can take a picture of you, but you can't take pictures with people. That's against your department's policy, and you know that. It is. Well, the question is taking pictures. That's the First Amendment.
We're doing an interview. Please don't put your phone off. You too.
What are you talking about? We're journalists, bro. Stop. Get away from.
Tensions rise after the auditors expand their criticism beyond the specific arrest and begin discussing broader issues involving police culture and accountability. They argue that officers often protect one another and question whether departments truly hold their own personnel responsible when mistakes occur. The conversation then circles back to cameras when the auditors once again point out that officers willingly participated in a photograph with a member of the public while simultaneously expressing concerns about being recorded by auditors. What stands out here is that the auditors use the photograph as a recurring example of what they see as inconsistent behavior. They argue that officers cannot object to cameras in one context while embracing them in another. The officers appear increasingly frustrated by the repeated accusations and criticisms. The auditors continue emphasizing that photography and recording are protected activities and suggest that public officials should be accustomed to public observation. The atmosphere becomes noticeably more heated than earlier portions of the encounter. Although no enforcement action is taking place, the exchange becomes increasingly personal, with both sides showing visible frustration. This segment matters because it marks the point where the conversation transitions from criticism of specific actions into criticism of broader law enforcement attitudes toward public oversight and transparency.
This guy, no, look at this guy. Look at this guy. You got the police mustache. You got that. These guys so angry about us. Not even. Maybe, but we mind our own. Maybe. So what? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Oh, that's a threat. That's a crime right there. You see? That's a crime. You're not going to do that? Threat. He's threatening to fight. That's a crime. You can ignore. Okay. No, he said I'll knock you the f out. You're a tyrant. That's fine. I don't care. We already know who you are. You're YouTube famous. You see? That guy just made a threat in front of you guys and you guys did nothing. That's why your behavior is highly suspicious. You don't do nothing. By the way, we're auditing America with over 100 million views on our channel. He got you 3 million views. Damn. Can I get your name and badge number? What's your name and badge number? Thank you. Can I get your name and badge number?
It's Dixon 20177.
Dixon. And you, can I get your name and badge number?
Yes, Smith 20295.
Thank you. Did you guys just witness that guy making a threat and police officers doing nothing about it? Well, it's okay because you see, go ahead. It's okay because you see, we expose this behavior and we make sure that thousands of people see that on the internet. We can't arrest you for it, but we do sentence you guys. We do sentence you guys to a lifetime in YouTube, lifetime on the internet. That's what you guys get.
The atmosphere changes dramatically when a nearby individual becomes involved in the encounter and reportedly makes a threatening remark toward the auditors. The auditors immediately draw attention to the statement and characterize it as a threat that occurred directly in front of the officers. What makes this moment important is that the auditors believe the officers should take action in response, yet they perceive little or no response from law enforcement. The conversation quickly shifts away from photography and prior arrests and becomes focused on how the officers handle the alleged threat. The auditors repeatedly point out that the comment was made openly and argue that officers are ignoring conduct that would normally receive attention if directed at someone else. They use the incident as further evidence for their broader criticism of police behavior and accountability. As the encounter continues, the auditors request additional names and badge numbers from officers on scene and continue documenting the interaction. The final moments center on the auditors' belief that public exposure serves as its own form of accountability. They explain that while they cannot take enforcement action themselves, they can publish footage online and allow the public to evaluate what occurred. The encounter concludes with the auditors emphasizing the power of public scrutiny and internet visibility as a way to document and preserve interactions involving government officials.